What's up, guys? Thank you for tuning in to the Uncommon Mindset podcast. Today, I'm joined by a very, very special guest. Today, I'm joined by Marcos de Matta, also known as Parrumpa. So I'll just give you a brief background on who Marcos is. Marcos was one of the top Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu super featherweights of the late 1990s, early 2000s, having medaled in the World Championship. This Carlson Gracie black belt joined American Top Team at a later stage and has become one of the world's most prestigious grappling coaches. Some of his students include the likes of Petr Yan, Edson Barboza, Nunes, Ribas, and more. What an uncommon legend Marcos is, and it's such an honor to have you on the podcast today.
Thank you so much. Thanks for the opportunity to be here.
No worries, Marcos. So I just want to start off by asking, I know you grew up in Brazil, in Rio de Janeiro, right? What was that like? And like, when did you actually get into jiu-jitsu yourself?
Man, I always say that I was lucky to be, in Rio. I mean, I was lucky to born in Rio. I was lucky to live in Rio, in Copacabana, because that's where I met Carlson Gracie. I used to play beach soccer, foot volley, at the Copacabana beach, and Carlson always was there, placing bets and yelling and then making fun of people. And he actually always tried to get me involved in jiu-jitsu, and like any other Brazilian kid, I wanted to be a soccer player, And I said, man, Carlson, I don't like that. I really don't. I like to play soccer. I like to play foot volley, I like the beach. So just leave me here. And then, no, you got to go. So I would say, man, for like good, maybe 4 to 5 months, he kept bugging me all the time. And I'm like, you know what, man, this guy is not going to leave me, So here's what I'm going to do. I already have a plan. I'm going to his gym. I'm going to try maybe for a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks, and then I'm going to come back to my soccer, to my beach, because I know I'm not going to like it, And then when next time he comes back and asks me, it's like, man, Carlson, I already tried, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
That was June 1st of 1987. So since that day, I never left jiu-jitsu. I never stopped training, And this is a story that I always tell my students, that I started jiu-jitsu to prove that I didn't like it, And jiu-jitsu is such an amazing art, an amazing martial art that it captivated me. Yeah. And I can say that jiu-jitsu changed my life. I was always the smallest one, the skinnier, kid that was always, getting picked on at school, and then when I started doing jiu-jitsu, I started getting better. It all changed. My confidence changed. I started looking people in the eye. I was, I tried to be, I stood up for myself a lot of times, I was okay talking to girls and everything. So it was something that really changed my life,
Yeah.
And growing up in Copacabana was like one of the best things I ever, I have so many good memories over there, good and bad, but made me the person that I am today, so I'm really, really glad that I did.
Yeah, no, 100%. And was jiu-jitsu big at that time? Back in 1980s, was it
No, not at all. It was more like we had like only maybe 4 gyms, what we call the South Zone of Brazil, which is the South Zone of Rio, which is the let's say the best area, like the better area, which is Copacabana, Ipanema, Leblon, Barra da Tijuca, São Conrado, so those, and Botafogo. So it was like the better area of Rio de Janeiro. We had like just 4 gyms. It was Carlson Gracie, it was Jacaré, that later on became Alliance. It was Gracie Barra, and it was a few small other gyms, and then we had the gyms on suburbia, which means like the less favorite areas, you know. It was like Melo Tennis Club. It was later on Melo Tennis Club joined André Pederneiras and they became Nova União, you know. So it was just very, very few people, very, very few people, you know. And it was like that until 1991 on the first Vale Tudo, which was Jiu-Jitsu against Luta Livre. And after that exploded big time. The same way UFC did for Jiu-Jitsu in America in 1993, that Vale Tudo did for Jiu-Jitsu in Rio in 1991. It was amazing, you know.
Wow, that's incredible. Yeah. And I know you left Carlson Gracie's gym, right? What was the reason for that? Was there a falling out, or did you just leave yourself?
No, yes. What happened was Carlson moved from Rio to LA, and we stayed. We found ourselves there, kind of like, you know, man, we don't have Carlson here, Master Carlson here. He's in LA taking care of the Vale Tudo side, you know. And then the guys that kind of like took care of everything was Murilo, it was Liborio, and it was Amaris Perry, and also Bebel. So those four guys were taking care of everything at the main academy, which was in Figueiredo Magalhães, right? But then Carlson had a problem with those three, you know, about some contractual things, you know, some percentages. It was a lot of gossip from other people that was interested in breaking up the team so they could, you know, rise, you know. At some point, Carlson came back and expelled those three guys, Murilo, Zé Mario, and Liborio, you know. And I didn't leave, you know. I didn't leave by my only choice, you know. But when Carlson came back, I was training at Carlson Gracie gym in Copacabana, the gym that we all grew up. But I was also training in a gym in Leblon. It was Murilo's gym. And Carlson got pissed off because I was training there, you know. And I said, Carlson, listen, when you left, those guys took care of me. Those guys helped me out. Those guys were with me in every tournament. Those guys were preparing me. You know, now I'm not going to leave you. But I also need their help still. Because you were more involved in MMA. I still want to compete jiu-jitsu. I still want to, you know, do all that. And he kind of like, he was so mad at these guys that he would not accept me doing so. So a few times he like, you know what, you're expelled. And next day I was back there. And then, you still training there? I said, Carlson, I'm not going to lie to you. Yes, but I'm here, right? I'm going to compete for you like I always did. I'm going to be Carlson Gracie's team. No, you expelled. Next day I will do the same thing, you know. So it was like that for like a week or so, you know, until one point I think I got at the gym one day. I was kind of like, you know, in a bad mood or something happened with me, maybe at home. I don't even remember. And he told me the same thing. I said, Carlson, listen, I'm not the 14-year-old that you met at the beach anymore. You know, I'm a black belt now, you know, and I'm over 21. That was 1999, the end of 99, or maybe early 2000. I'm not sure when it was. So I was already 27, I think, you know, 26 or 27 years old. So I said, Carlson, man, I'm not a kid anymore. You know, stop saying that to me. I'm a black belt. You know, I'm very proud to be your black belt. You know, you showed me and you taught me a lot of morals, you know, a lot of values, you know, and I'm proud of that. But you can't keep telling me that I'm gonna spell it every day. Don't ever tell me again, because, you know, I will not come back. Then I left. The next day I came back and he did it again. I said, Carlson, I told you yesterday, please don't say it again. And he said it. I said, you know what? I'm never coming back. So I turned my back away. and I never stepped foot at that gym ever until this day, you know. So from there, obviously, I joined Brazilian Top Team. You know, I was the guy that in the beginning of Brazilian Top Team, I was taking care of the gi training, the gi program, because those guys, they were doing MMA, they were focused on MMA, and I was the guy taking care of the gi, you know. And then it was pretty much it. It was like a very bad misunderstanding. I like to say misunderstanding, because Carlson had his points, and he was right, and he was also wrong in another aspects. And those guys also, they were right in some aspects and wrong in some aspects. So I think if everybody would sit down and try to, you know, get a better, you know, discussion, a better conversation, they would reach a point that would be good for both of them, you know. It didn't, you know.
Yeah, no, it's just it's like a misunderstandings always happen, right? And you just need to talk it out for sure. Yeah, 100%. I know when you were coming up as well, you beat Leonardo Vieira, right? And you were the underdog, and
big time.
He was on a winning streak, and you literally just broke that winning streak. What did that feel like? That must have been amazing.
Man, I was so scared that day, but I never showed, you know. I have a very good poker face, you know. Even to this day. Nowadays, I compete at super heavyweights. You know, I am 165 and I compete against 220-pound guys. Wow. You know, and one of the things that I really do well is, like, I have a very good poker face. So back then, I was really scared because Leozinho was already Leozinho. Leozinho was already undefeated in the past, let's say 5, 6, or even 7 big tournaments. He got one of my teammates the tournament before, which was December of '92, and he pretty much, man, passed the program of the guy. You know, it was like 20-0, it was like an easy fight. And my teammate and I used to be, you know, competitive at the gym. I was like, damn, man. If I train with my friend and, like, right there with my friend, and he shit on my friends, like, he's gonna do the same thing to me, you know? And it was funny because I was always better in a competition than at the gym. You know, I always liked to compete. I always liked people cheering against me. I always liked people cursing me out. I always liked to, like, you know, prove them wrong. You know, that was something that I always liked. Some people, they train very well at the gym, but they come to the tournament and they're like, they don't perform very well. I was completely opposite. I was, like, not even a top guy at the gym at first. But then when it comes to the tournament, all these guys that beat me at the gym, they would lose, and I would, like, you know, always win. It was something like that, you know. So when he beat my friend, I won as a blue belt. My last tournament as a blue belt, and he won as a purple belt, same weight division. That's why they put us together, you know. So it was like only a four super fight event. It was only 4 fights. It was inside a nightclub. That was like gangster shit, you know. It was inside one of the biggest nightclubs of the south zone of Rio. Everybody who was important was there. You know, the who is who in jiu-jitsu, the who is who in society, the who is who, all the girls and guys and everything. Who was important, they were there, you know. And it was only 4 fights, 1 blue belt, us as a purple belt, 1 brown belt, and 1 black belt match, you know. And our fight was 20 minutes. It was a long time, you know. Nowadays, it's hard to see super fights like that, you know, only in like Abu Dhabi or, you know, high level tournaments, you know. And nobody, absolutely, besides the people at my gym who knew me and my friends, even my friends, they doubt me, you know, like, hey, man, if you just be competitive with him, you'll be good for you. You just, you know, debuting on the purple belt. He's already a champion. He's already, like, schooling everybody out. I'm like, yeah, but fuck that. I don't want to lose, especially on that, scenario. Like, man,
Yeah.
this is my house, this is my home. I can, and it was amazing. It was a pretty easy match. For the first 5 minutes, it was a little competitive, which was exactly my strategy for the first half. Like between, up until the 10 minutes, I was just defend myself and make sure that he doesn't score.
Mhm.
And then the second half, I will start putting on. It was exactly what happened. I beat him up by 10 points, 10-0. And people were like, unbelievable. That's when actually I was born to the whole scenario. People were like, whoa, who is this guy?
Yeah.
People already had a little bit of an idea who I was, because back then, a good blue belt was already, like people already talk about, because there was not a lot of black belts back then. That was 1994. So it was some good black belts, but people, even talk about good blue belts. Nowadays, blue belt, nobody even know their names, Back then was a little different, and being a purple belt in an event like that against Leo, gave me a lot of publicity, and that was probably my biggest and best memory in jiu-jitsu of my life. It was really nice.
That's incredible. Yeah, no, that's amazing. It shows who you are, like you're such a legend in the sport of jiu-jitsu, and it's just
Thank you.
incredible. Yeah, it's just incredible. I want to talk to you about American Top Team, because I know there's thousands of killers out there, right? Like some of the people I mentioned, Petr Yan, Edson Barboza, Amanda Nunes, Amanda Ribas, and just more and more. What's it like just being around that atmosphere and cornering people like that? Like the other day you was with Edson Barboza when he won. Like is it just like surreal for you, or are you just adapted to it now?
Man, I feel like we always, everybody always say that if you work and what you love, you don't need to take a vacation, and that's exactly how I feel. I really love to compete. I used to love to compete as a MMA fighter. Now obviously I don't fight anymore, but I love to compete as a corner. I love to compete in an argument. I love to compete in anything,
Yeah.
So to me, I feel blessed and honored to be part of such an amazing team. American Top Team is the best team in the world for the last 4 years, and I'm really proud to be, one of the first guys to get there. I'm there since the beginning, since 2002, and I've seen a lot of people coming and going, and we made a lot of mistakes in the beginning, but those mistakes made us what we are today, because we made a mistake, and then we correct the mistake, and we make another mistake, and then we correct that one, and we keep doing that until you find, as close as you can from getting like the best. But we're never going to be the best, because it's hard to be the best. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to lose fights. We're going to win fights, and then we're going to make, correct those mistakes. But it is such an amazing feeling that I've seen all generations from American Top Team since day one until today, and I still see the new guys coming in. For example, here I'm at Bellator now, and I see Austin Vanderford. Kid is 10-0. 4-0 in Bellator. He has so much potential. Danny Sabatello, also 9-1, making his Bellator debut. Also,
he's fighting one of
Brett Jones.
Yeah, he's fighting. I used to train with Brett Jones.
Okay, yeah. Brett Jones is an amazing fighter. Very, very good fighter. He already fought one of our guys, Pedro Munoz, back then. But he's such an amazing fighter, man. I really think he's a good fighter.
Yeah, he's fought.
We have also Valerie. Is one of the new generations of our girls, Valerie Lurita. And then we go to, for example, PFL. We have Nathan Schultz. We have so many people there. Gleison Tibau still competing at a high level. Is going to fight Rory McDonald's for the main event in June 17th. And then we have guys in the UFC. What else can I say? Like you said, Edson Barboza, Petr Yan, Amanda Nunes, the best of all time. Amanda Ribas, new generation of American top team. You know, we have Alexandre Pantoja, who is number 3 in the world right now. You know, and I'm sure there's people will be mad at me because I'm gonna forget their names, but there's so many people, you know, so many good coaches. I mean, we are like so happy to be still doing what we do in the high level. You know, it's such an amazing feeling, amazing ride, you know.
It's like, it's literally, you're going from one country to another city, to another country, to another, you're constantly on the move with different fighters, and it's incredible. It's literally, you know, is it tiring for you at all, or do you just love it?
Yes. Yeah, yes. I mean, people sometimes think, oh man, I want that life. I want to be like, last week I was in Houston, I'm in Connecticut. Next week I'm going to be in Connecticut, and then I go back to Vegas, and then keep going. That's because of the pandemic. In 2019, I was in all continents, from West Coast in the United States to Korea to China to Abu Dhabi. You know, it's really tiring, especially because when I'm out of town, I still have some fighters that I help, that I train at the gym, missing me. You know, so for example, I'm here in Bellator. I have Marina Moroz and Movsar Ivloev. They're fighting on the June 5th and the June 12th card. You know, they're missing me at the gym. And then we have people that come and go. It's really tiring, especially because I have a family. I have my wife, my 2 boys, and I have my gym. Yeah. So it's really tiring. But like I said, it's what I love to do. You know, I love to compete. If I come here and I win, I mean, the guys that I corner, they win, I'm all good, you know. Like, it's really satisfying to see, for example, a guy like Edson Barboza, who fought everyone in a 155-pound division, comes down to 45, gets robbed on his debut against Denige, you know, and then he fights against Amir Akwani. I'm sorry, I don't exactly remember his name. I think Amir. Yeah. And then he wins, but he doesn't do an impressive way, because when Edson Barboza fights, people expect huge things, knockouts, crazy knockouts. But the people are getting good. We'll talk about high level guys. We'll talk about the best of the best in UFC. And then we go back to Houston, and then he does what he just did. It's such a, man. I was talking to Anderson França, who was in the corner with me with Edson. And I was like on top of the cage waiting for Edson to get, you know, announced. And I look around me, the full venue again. Man, it gave me goosebumps. I kid you not. It's such an amazing feeling, you know. I've been doing this for quite a while, you know, like over 20 years cornering. And I'm telling you, I did Pride, I did Bushido, I did all shows, and I still get goosebumps every single time that I walk out with a fighter, with the full arena, the music is pumping and everybody's screaming. And man, there's no such a thing, you know, as getting used to. You know, you always feel that if it was you know.
No, 100%, yeah. And I when I was watching that UFC and I saw Tony Ferguson walk out, I was just like, whoa, this is crazy. Having fans back again is different.
It's level. Crazy, yeah.
Different level.
Yeah.
You obviously mentioned, you know, you're such a competitor even when you corner. Let's just briefly talk about the Petr Yan fight against Aljamain Sterling. I'm sure you've been asked this question all the time, right? Because I know Petr Yan was doing so well. I thought he was definitely winning that fight, right? What happened? Did someone shout out to throw the knee? Like, what happened there? Do you know?
So first thing, let's talk about the fight itself. You know, it was, I thought that we were going to lose the first round, but then we're going to win every round after that.
Yeah.
You know, because the way Aljamain comes strong, Peter is a slow starter because you always try to feel, you know, and then you start putting on. When we won the first round, it was like, oh, this is getting better, you know. And then the second round, that's when Aljamain start attacking more and more, and we actually lost the second round. But then the third round was easy, and the fourth round was close to a 10-8. And I'm telling you that the fifth round, that's when Peter was coming for the kill. You know, it would be either a 10-8 round or a finish, you know. I was extremely happy and proud of my work with Peter, because think about this. I'm the new guy coming in, you know. He was already with John, you know, and he was already training in another gym. He comes to American Top Team to train with us, you know, and basically I had 5 weeks to implement a little bit of my game on him, the takedown defense, the ground defense, you know, obviously that's what we wanted, you know. And out of 17 takedowns, Peter defended 16. Wow. And the only takedown that he got taken down, he got right back up. He didn't spend more than 15 seconds on the ground. So right there, I was really proud because, man, I did my job, you know. And he scored 7 out of 8 takedown attempts. So not only he defended, but he also attacked it. It was pretty successful, you know. Talking about the specific moment, you know, when we were backstage, I went through that specific position. I said, Peter, at some point of the fight, he's going to shoot and you're going to get in the front headlock situation. Okay. I want you to do the exact same thing that you did with Aldo. You're going to spin behind and you're going to knock this guy out. You're going to TKO him. He's going to either pull guard on you, or you're going to keep going from side to side and scoring a takedown. Do you understand? Yes, coach, no problem. When he got that in the fourth round, and I'm really, really, really relieved. There's a video of people on me, and I was saying, just punch, just punch, just punch. And he threw the knee. Immediately, I was like, my God, I was like so mad because it was a win. It was an easy win, you know. Some of his buddies, it was the 2 guys behind me. They shout out something in Russian, but I obviously I don't speak Russian. I have a few words, a few commands that I use with the fighters that I train, you know, but I don't speak fluent Russian, so I don't know what they shout. Backstage afterwards, I said, did you guys listen? We are all here. Did you guys say anything? No, we said hit him in Russian. So I don't know. I don't know if they ever gonna say if they did or not, you know. But even Peter said no. I'm sorry, coach. I really don't know what got into I got confused because the referee came and talked and this and that in the locker room. I got confused. I'm sorry. I said, did you hear me saying just punch, just punch? And he said, yeah, but I got carried away. His hand was out, but I didn't see the knee. And anyway, it was bad. And now, obviously, you know, Aljamain is running for his life. He doesn't want to fight. What he really wants is actually extend this as much as he can. So the UFC and Peter gets pissed off. They put Peter with somebody else for an interim title. And then that guy, he's going to pray for his gods that guy beats Peter. And then he unifies not against Peter, because he knows he can beat Peter. You know, he already tried his best. He was well prepared. He was focused. He did the best he could. He didn't even get close to get Peter's back or finish him. So what's going to come, you know, different in the next fight? He's not going to get him. He's not going to be an amazing striker, you know, and Peter's only getting better on defending the takedown. So I believe, you know, this fight's, you know, it's very far away from happening, you know, unfortunately, because Aljamain is an amazing fighter. comes from a good team. You know, we all expecting, you know, always to be a tough fight with him, but, you know, come on, enough is enough, you know. He's talking about Cejudo, he's talking about Dillashaw. Well, you're not talking about Peter? Come on.
Yeah.
You know, you have to talk about Peter, my man. Why are you talking about Cejudo? Why are you talking about Dillashaw? Why are you talking about Sanhagen? No. You're coming back against Peter, you know? Or let go of the belt, you know, and let's do something else. Then it's okay, you know?
Yeah, no, I think that rematch has to happen. It just has to happen. Just because Aljamain said that he didn't want to win that belt that way as well, right? And
Yeah.
then, no. And the people were saying at that time as well, Khabib might have said something, but I don't think that was the case, right? I don't think Khabib said.
I mean, I like I said, man, I don't know. Maybe Khabib heard something. I don't know. I didn't even see where Khabib was because he was not close to us. You know, I don't even know where he was. You know, maybe he heard something. I don't know. You know, I know what I said. There's video proving, you know. I don't know what they said because I don't speak Russian, you know. But the fact is, unfortunately, Peter had to know. You know, that was Peter's mistake. You know, he had to know. As a champion, he needs to know that he can, you know, not even get, you know, that close, get the chance to be disqualified. Don't throw the knee, just throw your hands like you did with Aldo, you know?
Yeah, no, yeah. And I want to just briefly talk about this fight as well, because she's one of my favorite fighters. I really, really like her, Amanda Ribas. She's incredible, and like she's so positive all the time as well. Is she like that constantly? Because you're constantly around her, right? Is she always like that?
Every single day, every single time, no matter if it's 6 a.m. or midnight, she's always like that. Very positive, very happy with everything, you know, very like, man, there's nothing that this girl, I never seen her really pissed off. The only time that she's kind of like quiet is when she's close to 120, you know, when she gets like down, like a little lower than 120 on her way to make 115, that's when she gets quiet, you know. But other than that, you know, and sometimes even that, I mean, cutting weight and watching like Food Network and everything, you know, she's amazing. She's really, really a positive person, a person that, you know, does good to people, you know, very religious, you know, she's a good girl, you know.
Yeah. No, yeah, she's literally one of my favorite fighters. Every time she's on a card and she speaks to the press or anything like that, it just brings everyone else's mood up, I think. She's incredible. She's incredible, yeah. I'll bring it back to you now, Marcos. What would you say to that person who wants to start jiu-jitsu but is a bit afraid to start? Is there anything that you say to your new students just to make them feel, at ease at all? Was there any recommendations you'd give?
Man, listen, one of the things that I tell my students, especially the new ones, you know, is I don't know how, and probably you don't know how, but jiu-jitsu will change your life. You know, maybe it's going to give you a little more confidence like it did for me. Maybe we'll calm you down if you're too hyper. Maybe we'll give you happiness because you're doing a martial arts. Maybe, I don't know. There's so many ways that jiu-jitsu can change your life, you know, bring you closer to your friends, you know, have a purpose in life, be less selfish, be more, you know, a team player. You know, jiu-jitsu is one of the martial arts that you can have a millionaire, a bum, not a bum because he needs to pay the gym, but like somebody that is poor, a former, you know, prisoner, and a judge, whatever. We have everybody on the mat and they're all equal. You know, obviously there are belts and there are respect and everything, but, you know, they're all equal as a student, you know. So somehow jiu-jitsu going to touch your life, touch your heart, and will change it, you know. But it's not easy because jiu-jitsu, you know, the beginning, especially if you don't have I don't know, a good instructor, maybe it's going to make your life miserable because, for example, at my gym, you won't roll live until your first stripe, which takes maybe 20 classes, maybe 25 classes, maybe 15, depends on you, how fast you learn, because I don't want you to get hurt. I don't want you to hurt anyone. And I don't want you to be frustrated because you don't know anything. You're going to get beat up, so why roll if you don't know anything? So I take very, very, very good care of the new students, because to me, the most important student in my gym is the white belt, because that's the one that we need to introduce jiu-jitsu. That's the one that we need to show the way. The purple belts, the brown belts, it's an easy path. It's a little harder in another aspect, but it's an easy path. You already know what you want. You already know, you already spend 5, 6, 7 years in jiu-jitsu, so you're already like inside the family. But the white belt, you need to guide these guys, and you can guide them for good and for bad, and that's a very big responsibility, for the instructors to guide them well, persevere. That's one of the words that I like to use, because you have to persevere, because you will fail a bunch of times in jiu-jitsu, especially in the beginning, but you have to break, I always say, to break the 3-month wall. If you can jump that 3-month wall, you're set to go, but the first 3 months is kind of like hard, especially if you're not healthy, if you're like overweight, if for some reason you have maybe an injury, an old injury and stuff like that, so I think that's the way to do it, to persevere,
Yeah, no, 100%. I totally agree, because I train jiu-jitsu, I train mixed martial arts myself. I train at Chris Reese's academy, and my head coach is Ash Williams. You might have heard of him. He's like triple champion in Polaris.
Yeah. Every time that I've been Polaris, I watch him fight. He's an amazing guy.
Yeah, he's such a great coach. Him, Chris Reese, like, I remember the first time I went to jiu-jitsu, and the first time I was there, I was like, I was like, I know nothing. I literally know nothing. Like, people can strangle me, they could probably just kill me right now. And that's the power of jiu-jitsu. Like, you can literally roll with someone for so long, and they can literally have your life in their hands, and then afterwards you're just best friends again. And it's incredible.
Yeah.
I love jiu-jitsu so much. And you're right about the 3-month mark, because at first, that's loads of people quit because of that, right? Because they always losing, they're not seeing progress. But you just need to stick at it. You need to persevere, like you said. Yes, it's incredible. Yeah. Just a few more questions now. Sorry, I won't keep you long. I know you're a busy.
No, I'm good.
Okay, awesome. What are your goals at the moment? Have you set yourself any long-term goals or anything like that?
Oh man, I have so many goals. I have my goal is to win. Win at Bellator, win at PFL, win at Titan, win at Worlds myself, win at the UFC. Obviously, the ultimate goal is to have more and more UFC champions at our gym. And I'm working towards that. We have a few guys that are kind of like on that path. Obviously, I would say the closest one, besides obviously Amanda Nunes is already the best ever. She's already there. But for example, Alexandre Pantoja is number 3. Edson Barboza now is number 9. Movsar Evloev is number 14. And then you keep going. Thiago Moises is fighting Islam Makhachev. He's number 15. It's a tough fight, but I think that the risk is very, very much worth. So many guys. We have Nathan Schutz, trying for his 3rd PFL belt. So Amanda Ribas, number 10 still, you know, even though she lost, she was number 10 or 11, 10 or 11, I'm not sure. You know, I want to, you know, make sure that, you know, I help her to get back on track, get back on the winning column, you know. I think she has a huge potential to be the champion, you know.
You know, one thing that just stood out to me, everything that you mentioned there, it just shows the type of person you are. You're providing so much value for other people. Like, I asked you what your goals are, and your goals are to make other people reach their goals, which is absolutely incredible. There's nothing better than that, right? There's nothing better than providing
man. I mean, I think that, you know, when they win, I also win, you know. And I'm okay with that. You know, I'm totally okay with that. You know, their win is also my win, is American top team win. You know, make sure that, you know, when we come back to the gym, you know, the recognition of, you know, our training partners, our coaches, Dan Lambert, you know, I'm just like really, you know, proud and happy to be part of such a great team, you know, and winning is my goal. You know, obviously I have my gym, you know, which I always try to, you know, make improvements, get more students, make more money. Obviously, you know, I have obviously my family, my 2 boys. If they grow up being good men, I'm set in life. You know, if they're good people, they help people, man, I'm set in life. But ultimately, my goal is win, you know.
I love that. Yeah, that's incredible. It's amazing. What would you tell yourself if you could go back in time? If there's one thing that you could tell yourself, what would that be?
Definitely, man, be more patient. You know, I'm not saying anxious, but I have a short temper. Sometimes I made, you know, mistakes that nowadays I regret. You know, if I could go back in time, I would have done a lot of things differently. You know, especially on the relationship with fighters, with co-workers, with everybody. You know, I'm not perfect. I made a lot of mistakes. I think I would, you know, one of the things that I would, you know, I would do and change will be those things, you know. But like I said, it's the same as American Top Team. We made mistakes and we correct. We made a mistake. I think in life, that's what we do. You know, we make mistakes and then we correct them. And then when we became a better person, and on and on and on, you know.
Yeah. The way to success, you have to fail, right? Failure.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
No, that's incredible. It's amazing. Yeah, no, thank you so much, honestly, Marcos. It's been amazing just talking to you. You're such an incredible person. I always see you on TV whenever I'm watching Bellator, UFC, you know, all these organizations, and I'm like, I need to speak to this guy. This is incredible.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you for your words. It's always a pleasure, you know, to put my story out there, and I thank you for that. Thank you for your kind words, you know, and I'm always here whenever you need.
No, thank you so much. And what I'll do as well, guys, I'll leave all of Marcus's social media down below so you can go and check him out as well. But yeah, no, thanks again, and good luck as well for tomorrow with the Bellator. I will be rooting for Brett Johns, just telling you that.
I understand that.
Yeah. But yeah, no, thank you so much. Thank you.
No, thank you. My pleasure. Thank you again.